Have you ever wondered why some people seem to burn fat effortlessly, while others struggle no matter how little they eat? It's not magic, it's biochemistry. Every morning, your body wakes up in a metabolic state that's either burning fat or storing it. The drink you choose to start your day with can tip that balance instantly. Today, I'm going to show you how a simple, natural combination, taken at the right time, can trigger your fat-burning pathways, awaken your mitochondria, and reset your insulin response. This isn't a fad or a shortcut. It's about understanding your body's elegant design and learning how to work with it, not against it. When you wake up in the morning, your body is in one of its most delicate metabolic states. During the night, you've been fasting for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes longer, and this fasting period is when your body switches from burning glucose to tapping into stored fat for energy. It's a beautiful natural mechanism designed by evolution, a state of repair, recovery, and renewal. But the moment you put something into your system, especially sugar, carbohydrates, or even certain artificial sweeteners, you alter that chemistry instantly. Understanding this morning metabolic window is about understanding the narrow period of time after you wake up when your body is primed to continue burning fat. It's not about starvation, it's about allowing your body to stay in the zone it worked hard to reach overnight. Most people break this window too early. They wake up and immediately reach for coffee loaded with cream and sugar, or a breakfast cereal that's nothing but processed carbohydrates. What happens then? Your insulin levels spike, cortisol rises even higher, and your body switches from fat burning mode to fat storing mode within minutes. Insulin is like a gatekeeper. When it's high, fat cannot be mobilized for energy. So instead of using the fat stores your body was about to burn, you're signaling your metabolism to hold on to it. This is one of the main reasons why so many people struggle with weight even when they think they're eating less. The issue is not just what you eat, but when you eat it and what state your metabolism is in when you do. The first hour after waking up is a powerful opportunity to influence how your body will function for the rest of the day. Your cortisol, the hormone that naturally rises in the morning to wake you up, is already doing its job. If you add a sudden sugar hit or processed breakfast, you double that hormonal stress and your body responds by elevating blood sugar and insulin even more. But if you instead start your morning by hydrating, by giving your body something that supports its natural fat-burning chemistry, like water, minerals, and specific compounds that stabilize insulin, you extend that fasting benefit. You keep your metabolism flexible. Metabolic flexibility means your body can easily switch between burning glucose and fat, depending on what's available. That flexibility is the hallmark of good health and longevity. Think of your metabolism as a finely tuned engine. After a night of fasting, it's running clean. The oil is circulating smoothly, the filters are clear, and the fuel is coming from within your stored fat. Now you have a choice. You can either pour sugar into that clean engine and clog it instantly, or you can feed it with what keeps it burning efficiently. Water with a touch of electrolytes, perhaps some natural fat-burning compounds like lemon, apple cider vinegar, or green tea extract, can reinforce the signals your body is already sending. We're burning fat, we're stable, we're in control. Your body's morning metabolism also influences your mental clarity and focus. When you wake up and remain in a fat-burning state, ketones begin to rise slightly. Ketones are a clean-burning fuel for your brain, providing energy without inflammation or oxidative stress. That's why when you fast or avoid heavy breakfast, you often feel more alert and calm. It's not just psychological, it's biochemical. The brain thrives when insulin is low and energy production is stable. Conversely, when you have a heavy carbohydrate breakfast, you might feel a temporary boost, but within a couple of hours, your energy crashes, your cravings rise, and your focus disappears. That roller coaster is the metabolic chaos many people live in daily without realizing it starts with that very first morning choice. Understanding the morning metabolic window also means respecting your circadian rhythm. Your body follows a 24-hour cycle that governs hormones, digestion, and cellular repair. The morning hours are designed for activity, not digestion. When you eat immediately upon waking, you're forcing your digestive system to start working before your body is fully ready. Blood flow that should be going to the brain and muscles is diverted to the stomach. But if you delay eating for even 60 to 90 minutes, you allow your body to finish the processes it began overnight: autophagy, detoxification, and fat mobilization. These processes are vital for maintaining cellular health and preventing inflammation. So, when people talk about a morning drink that melts fat, it's not a miracle potion. It's a strategic way of extending your metabolic advantage. The drink serves as a bridge between the fasting and feeding states. It keeps you hydrated, supports your mitochondria, and maintains insulin sensitivity. It helps you sustain fat oxidation longer, giving your body more time to utilize stored fat as fuel before you introduce calories. This is how you train your metabolism to work efficiently instead of constantly demanding external energy sources. Every morning is an opportunity to reset your metabolism. What you do in those first waking moments determines whether you continue the fat-burning process or interrupt it. The body is always responding to signals, hormonal, nutritional, and behavioral. By understanding this morning metabolic window, you can align your actions with your biology instead of fighting against it. The goal isn't just to lose fat, it's to restore your body's natural rhythm, enhance energy stability, and reduce metabolic stress. The key is awareness. Once you know how your body operates in this delicate early phase of the day, you realize that your metabolism is not broken. It's simply being mismanaged through routine habits that can easily be changed. Insulin is one of the most powerful hormones in the human body, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. Many people think of insulin only in the context of diabetes, but in reality, it's the central switch that determines whether your body burns fat or stores it. When you wake up, your insulin levels are naturally low, which means your body is in its most efficient fat-burning state. This is a crucial moment for metabolic health. The choices you make right after waking up can either preserve that state or destroy it within minutes. When insulin is low, fat can be mobilized from your adipose tissue, broken down into fatty acids, and used as fuel by your muscles and liver. But when insulin rises, that entire process stops. Fat burning shuts down, and your body begins storing energy instead of releasing it. Insulin works hand in hand with another hormone, glucagon. Think of them as two sides of a scale. When insulin is high, glucagon is low and fat storage dominates. When insulin is low, glucagon rises and fat burning takes over. During fasting, sleep, or early in the morning before eating, glucagon is the hero. It keeps your blood sugar stable by converting stored energy into usable fuel. This is why the morning hours are so metabolically sensitive. If you consume sugar, refined carbs, or even too much protein right after waking, insulin rises sharply, suppressing glucagon and halting fat metabolism. What you've done is turn off the very mechanism that could have been melting fat for you naturally. The chemistry of fasting and insulin control is about more than just weight loss. It affects nearly every aspect of your health. High insulin levels, maintained over time, cause inflammation, oxidative stress, and eventually insulin resistance, the state in which your cells no longer respond properly to insulin signals. When that happens, your pancreas works harder to produce even more insulin, and the cycle continues. This is the silent beginning of metabolic disorders that eventually lead to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. But in the morning, after a night of fasting, you have a perfect opportunity to reset this entire system. If you allow insulin to stay low for just a few more hours, your body will become more sensitive to it, meaning it will need less of it to do its job. Lower insulin sensitivity equals easier fat loss, better energy, and improved mental focus. Your liver plays a major role in this process. During fasting, the liver switches from storing glycogen to producing glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. It's your body's way of maintaining steady blood sugar without eating. But the moment you consume carbohydrates, insulin signals the liver to stop producing glucose and start storing it again. This shift happens almost immediately. So, the concept of timing, when you eat or drink something that stimulates insulin, becomes more important than the calorie count itself. The same meal can have different effects depending on when you consume it. In the morning, when insulin sensitivity is naturally higher, small changes can create large shifts in metabolic response. This is why a carefully chosen morning drink can help sustain low insulin levels while still giving your body hydration, minerals, and gentle stimulation without breaking the fast. Insulin also influences hunger and cravings. When insulin spikes, blood sugar rises, and shortly after, it crashes. This drop signals hunger even if your body doesn't truly need more fuel. That's why eating sugary or processed breakfast leads to mid-morning energy slumps and snack cravings. But when insulin remains steady, energy is stable, and the brain receives a clear signal that the body is nourished. This connection between insulin and appetite regulation is often overlooked. The more balanced your insulin levels, the easier it becomes to make better food choices throughout the day because you're not driven by fluctuating hunger signals. There's also a relationship between insulin and cortisol, the stress hormone that naturally rises in the morning to help you wake up. Cortisol increases blood sugar so your body has energy to start the day. If you add a high carbohydrate breakfast on top of already elevated cortisol, your insulin levels will spike dramatically, compounding the stress response and promoting fat storage, particularly around the abdomen. However, if you keep your morning routine light, maybe just water, electrolytes, and compounds that support insulin sensitivity, such as cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, or black coffee without sugar, you allow cortisol to perform its natural function without triggering an insulin surge. Over time, this habit trains your body to manage both stress and metabolism more effectively. The beauty of insulin regulation lies in its simplicity once you understand it. Every time you eat or drink something that tastes sweet or contains calories, insulin responds. It doesn't matter if it's healthy sugar or natural sweeteners. The body perceives sweetness as a signal to prepare for glucose processing. So even certain beverages marketed as healthy can sabotage your metabolic state first thing in the morning. The key is to give your body time before that first insulin spike. Once insulin remains low for long enough, enzymes responsible for fat breakdown, lipases, become more active. This is when fat cells start releasing energy. It's not about starving yourself. It's about letting your hormones do what they're designed to do. Understanding the role of insulin and fasting chemistry is about reclaiming control over your metabolism. You can either live in a constant cycle of spikes and crashes, driven by food and cravings, or you can stabilize your internal environment and let your body function as it was meant to. When insulin is kept in check, energy becomes steady, the brain functions optimally, and the body uses fat efficiently for fuel. Every sip, every bite, and every morning choice either supports that balance or disrupts it. Insulin isn't your enemy, it's a messenger. When you respect its timing and power, it becomes your greatest ally in achieving metabolic health and natural fat loss. When you wake up in the morning, your body is in a mildly dehydrated state. You've gone several hours without water, yet during sleep, your body continues to lose fluids through breathing, sweating, and cellular repair processes. This natural dehydration is not dangerous, but it is significant enough to influence how your metabolism behaves in those first waking moments. Hydration isn't just about quenching thirst. It's a critical signal to every cell, organ, and biochemical process that the body is ready to function optimally. The balance of water and electrolytes determines how efficiently your cells communicate, how your muscles contract, how your brain focuses, and how your metabolism operates. Without restoring this balance first thing in the morning, you can't fully activate the body's fat-burning mechanisms, no matter how healthy your diet or exercise routine may be. When people think of hydration, they often picture plain water, but the reality is that proper hydration depends on electrolytes, minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. These minerals carry electrical charges that help regulate nerve signals, muscle movement, and fluid balance inside and outside of cells. After a night of fasting, insulin levels are low, and your kidneys naturally excrete more sodium and water. This is why many people wake up feeling light, but also slightly fatigued or foggy. The body's natural diuretic state after fasting depletes these electrolytes, and when you drink only water without replenishing minerals, it can dilute them further. The result is an imbalance that affects your metabolic performance and energy. To maintain proper cellular function and continue burning fat efficiently, your morning hydration should include electrolytes in balanced proportions. Hydration directly impacts metabolism because water is the medium through which all metabolic reactions occur. Every process that involves fat oxidation, from mobilizing fat out of adipose tissue to converting it into usable energy in the mitochondria, depends on adequate hydration. When water levels are low, metabolism slows down because the body prioritizes maintaining blood pressure and basic survival functions over fat burning. Even mild dehydration can increase cortisol levels, which in turn promotes fat storage. On the other hand, when you rehydrate properly upon waking, you signal the body that it's safe to continue fat oxidation and energy production. The morning drink, when designed correctly, rehydrates the body, replenishes electrolytes, and supports the hormonal environment necessary for fat metabolism. The relationship between hydration and electrolyte balance also extends to brain function. The brain is about 75% water, and dehydration as little as 2% can impair cognitive performance, mood, and focus. After fasting overnight, your neurons depend on optimal electrolyte conductivity to fire properly. Sodium and potassium gradients across cell membranes are what generate the electrical impulses that allow neurons to communicate. When these gradients are off balance due to low electrolytes or dehydration, mental fog, fatigue, and cravings become more intense. Many people misinterpret early morning fatigue or hunger as a need for food when, in reality, it's a signal of dehydration or electrolyte deficiency. By hydrating first, before consuming calories, you give your brain and body the tools to restore clarity and maintain stable energy. The balance between hydration and fat metabolism is also tied to mitochondrial function. Mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, require a steady supply of water to carry out oxidative phosphorylation, the process of producing energy from fat and glucose. Inside mitochondria, water participates in nearly every step of energy production. When water is scarce, the efficiency of these processes decreases, and reactive oxygen species, harmful byproducts of metabolism, increase. Proper hydration dilutes these byproducts and helps transport them out of cells for elimination. This detoxifying effect contributes not only to better metabolism, but also to clearer skin, reduced inflammation, and improved cellular health. Hydration after sleep also influences the digestive system. The body produces less saliva and digestive fluids overnight, and drinking water upon waking helps reactivate the digestive tract, stimulate peristalsis, and prepare the body for nutrient absorption later in the day. However, if the first thing you consume is a sugary or acidic beverage without adequate hydration, it can irritate the stomach lining and stress the adrenal glands. Starting your day with clean water or a mineral-infused drink primes the gut microbiome for better digestion and supports the body's natural detox pathways through the liver and kidneys. These organs rely on adequate water flow to flush toxins and metabolic waste accumulated overnight. Electrolyte balance, particularly sodium and potassium, plays a major role in regulating blood pressure and maintaining cellular hydration. Low sodium can cause fatigue, dizziness, and headaches, while excess sodium without enough potassium can lead to fluid retention and imbalance. The key lies in harmony. Natural sources such as Himalayan salt, coconut water, or magnesium-rich mineral drops can restore this balance without processed additives. When electrolytes are balanced, the body maintains stable energy, reduces cravings for sugar or caffeine, and sustains fat metabolism throughout the morning. Hydration also interacts with insulin and glucose regulation. Studies show that dehydration increases insulin resistance, meaning your cells become less responsive to insulin signals. This forces the pancreas to release more insulin, pushing the body toward fat storage instead of fat burning. Simply drinking enough water with balanced minerals improves insulin sensitivity and allows the body to use energy more efficiently. This is particularly important during the morning fasting window when your goal is to maintain low insulin levels and continue burning fat. A well-formulated morning drink can therefore serve as both hydration and metabolic support, helping you stay in a fat-burning state while preventing the stress response triggered by dehydration. The final piece of hydration chemistry involves cellular communication. Each cell membrane is a lipid layer that relies on the right electrical charge to allow nutrients in and waste out. Electrolytes in water create the voltage difference that drives this exchange. When hydration is optimal, cells operate like efficient batteries, converting energy smoothly and maintaining internal balance. When hydration is poor, voltage drops, communication falters, and fatigue sets in. This is why proper hydration with electrolytes is the foundation of metabolic efficiency. It's not just about drinking water. It's about restoring the environment in which every metabolic process takes place. Fat burning is not something that happens by accident. It is a carefully orchestrated biochemical process regulated by hormones. These hormones act as messengers, instructing the body when to store energy and when to release it. The ability to activate fat-burning hormones naturally depends on how well you align your lifestyle, nutrition, and daily rhythm with the body's innate design. The key hormones involved in fat metabolism include insulin, cortisol, growth hormone, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and thyroid hormones. Each of these plays a unique but interconnected role in determining whether your body burns fat or stores it. When you understand how to work with these hormones rather than against them, fat loss stops being a struggle and becomes a natural outcome of balanced biochemistry. One of the most important hormones in this process is insulin, the energy storage signal. When insulin is high, fat storage dominates, and when it is low, fat burning begins. Insulin levels naturally drop during fasting or after several hours without food, creating an ideal environment for fat breakdown. This is why extending your morning fasting window or consuming a drink that doesn't trigger an insulin response is so effective. As insulin decreases, another hormone, glucagon, rises. Glucagon signals the liver to release stored energy and convert fat into usable fuel. This hormonal balance between insulin and glucagon determines whether your body remains in a fat-burning state or shifts into storage mode. Cortisol, the stress hormone, also plays a complex role. It follows a natural daily rhythm, peaking in the morning to help you wake up and prepare for activity. When managed properly, this morning rise in cortisol supports fat metabolism by mobilizing stored energy for use. However, if cortisol is excessively elevated due to chronic stress, poor sleep, or a heavy carbohydrate breakfast, it can backfire by increasing appetite and promoting fat storage around the abdomen. The goal is not to suppress cortisol, but to align with its rhythm, keeping it balanced through hydration, sunlight exposure, calm breathing, and nutrient timing. When cortisol rises gently in the morning, while insulin remains low, fat oxidation occurs efficiently and energy levels remain steady. Another hormone essential for fat metabolism is growth hormone, which is secreted during deep sleep and continues to influence metabolism in the early morning. Growth hormone promotes lipolysis, the breakdown of stored fat into fatty acids that can be used for energy. This hormone thrives in a low insulin environment, which is another reason why avoiding sugar or refined carbohydrates upon waking enhances fat burning. Growth hormone also preserves lean muscle mass, ensuring that when the body uses fat for energy, it spares protein tissue. Supporting growth hormone naturally through fasting, proper sleep, and morning hydration enhances this fat-burning window without the need for supplements or stimulants. Adrenaline and noradrenaline, often called the fight or flight hormones, are short-term activators of fat metabolism. When released in small, controlled amounts, such as during morning movement, cold exposure, or mild fasting, they increase lipolysis and elevate metabolic rate. These hormones stimulate the beta receptors in fat cells, signaling them to release stored triglycerides into the bloodstream. This is why even light physical activity in the morning, such as walking or stretching, can accelerate fat burning when done in a fasted state. The key is balance. Chronic stress or overtraining can produce too much adrenaline, leading to fatigue and hormonal resistance. Gentle stimulation of these hormones supports fat metabolism while maintaining overall hormonal harmony. Thyroid hormones are another central component of metabolic regulation. They determine how fast or slow your body converts nutrients into energy. A well-functioning thyroid ensures that the calories you consume are used efficiently rather than stored as fat. However, thyroid function is sensitive to diet, stress, and mineral balance. Adequate iodine, selenium, and magnesium are crucial for thyroid hormone production and activation. Morning hydration with mineral-rich fluids can therefore support thyroid efficiency indirectly. Furthermore, prolonged insulin spikes or chronic stress can suppress thyroid activity, slowing metabolism and making fat loss more difficult. By managing these hormonal factors through daily choices, you can optimize thyroid performance and sustain a healthy metabolic rate. Leptin and ghrelin, the hunger-regulating hormones, also play an indirect but powerful role in fat metabolism. Leptin signals satiety and helps regulate energy balance, while ghrelin stimulates hunger. When insulin levels are stable, leptin sensitivity improves, and the body accurately perceives when it has enough energy. This reduces overeating and helps maintain consistent fat burning. On the other hand, frequent snacking or eating processed foods blunts leptin signaling, leading to constant hunger and difficulty losing fat. Keeping insulin low in the morning through a clean, supportive drink allows leptin and ghrelin to function properly, promoting natural appetite control. Activating fat-burning hormones also involves understanding the importance of circadian biology. The body's hormonal rhythms are tied to light and darkness. Exposure to natural light in the morning helps regulate cortisol and melatonin, creating a stable hormonal environment that supports metabolism throughout the day. Consistent wake-up times, proper hydration, and nutrient timing reinforce this natural rhythm. When your hormones follow their intended cycles, fat metabolism occurs effortlessly. In essence, fat-burning hormones are part of an intricate communication network that responds to your behaviors, environment, and diet. Every morning, this network awaits your first signal. What you drink, how you breathe, how you move, and whether you align with your body's rhythm. By making conscious choices that support insulin balance, cortisol regulation, growth hormone preservation, and thyroid activation, you create the conditions for fat burning to happen naturally. Each of these hormones functions not in isolation, but as part of a symphony, responding precisely to how you begin your day. The science behind the fat-melting drink is rooted in the body's natural physiology and its ability to maintain balance through hormones, hydration, and cellular energy production. A properly formulated morning drink doesn't work through magic. It works because it aligns with the metabolic state your body is already in after fasting through the night. During sleep, insulin levels drop, glycogen stores are gradually depleted, and the body transitions toward using stored fat as its primary energy source. When you wake up, this process is still active, and the first thing you consume can either continue it or disrupt it. The drink is designed to enhance this fat-burning window by maintaining low insulin levels, promoting hydration, supporting mitochondrial function, and supplying key compounds that activate fat metabolism at a cellular level. The foundation of this drink is hydration with purpose. Water is the base because every metabolic reaction requires it. Without water, enzymes involved in fat breakdown cannot function optimally. However, hydration alone isn't enough. The right balance of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, and magnesium, must be present to restore the fluid balance lost during the night. These minerals help maintain electrical gradients across cell membranes, allowing fatty acids to move into mitochondria where they are converted into energy. Magnesium in particular is crucial for the activation of ATP, the energy currency of the cell. When electrolytes are balanced, fat oxidation occurs more efficiently and the body maintains steady energy without relying on glucose spikes. The next component involves natural thermogenic and metabolic activators. Ingredients like lemon, apple cider vinegar, and green tea extract have biochemical properties that support fat metabolism without disrupting fasting. Lemon juice contains citric acid, which helps stimulate digestive enzymes and improve liver function. A well-functioning liver is essential for fat breakdown because it produces bile, which emulsifies fat and prepares it for conversion into energy. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, which has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and lower blood sugar responses after meals. By consuming it in the morning, you help your cells become more efficient at utilizing energy and less likely to store fat. Green tea extract contains catechins and a small amount of caffeine, both of which stimulate thermogenesis, the process of generating heat by burning calories. Together, these ingredients gently awaken your metabolism while keeping you in a fast state. Another important factor in the drink's effectiveness is its influence on mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell, responsible for converting fat into usable energy through a process known as beta oxidation. Certain natural compounds, such as polyphenols found in green tea or antioxidants in lemon, help protect mitochondria from oxidative stress. When mitochondria are healthy, they burn fat more efficiently and produce less inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the major barriers to fat loss because it interferes with hormonal signaling and cellular communication. A morning drink that provides antioxidants helps counter this problem, reducing metabolic friction and allowing fat-burning pathways to remain active. Caffeine in moderate amounts can also play a role. It stimulates the release of norepinephrine, a hormone that signals fat cells to release fatty acids into the bloodstream. When combined with fasting, this process is amplified because insulin is low and fat is more readily available as fuel. However, too much caffeine can raise cortisol excessively, which can lead to the opposite effect, increased stress and potential fat storage. That is why balance is key. A modest amount of caffeine from green tea or black coffee can enhance the drink's effectiveness without triggering an unwanted stress response. The acid-base balance created by ingredients such as lemon and apple cider vinegar also contributes to metabolic health. Although these substances are acidic in taste, they have an alkalizing effect once metabolized in the body. This helps maintain a healthy blood pH, which supports enzyme activity and reduces systemic inflammation. When the body is in an optimal pH range, it can process nutrients more effectively and sustain energy without relying on glucose spikes. Maintaining this balance also improves gut health, which plays a significant role in metabolism. A healthy gut microbiome supports better nutrient absorption, reduces cravings, and influences the production of short-chain fatty acids that promote fat oxidation. One of the drink's less obvious but powerful effects is on insulin signaling. By avoiding sugar or artificial sweeteners, the drink keeps insulin levels low and stable. When insulin remains low, the body continues to release fat from storage, and the enzyme hormone-sensitive lipase stays active. This enzyme is responsible for breaking down stored triglycerides into free fatty acids that can be burned for energy. When insulin spikes, this enzyme is inhibited and fat burning stops. Therefore, the drink's composition must avoid anything that triggers insulin. No sugar, no milk, and no high-calorie additives. Instead, the focus is on supporting hydration, metabolism, and fat mobilization while keeping the hormonal environment favorable. In addition to metabolic and hormonal benefits, the drink has an impact on mental clarity. During fasting and fat metabolism, the body produces ketones, which are an alternative fuel source for the brain. Ketones provide clean, stable energy without the crashes associated with glucose. The nutrients and electrolytes in the morning drink enhance this process, improving cognitive performance, focus, and mood. This mental clarity is one of the first benefits people notice when they incorporate the drink into their morning routine. It's not only about burning fat, but also about feeling alert and stable throughout the day. The science behind the fat-melting drink is ultimately about synchronization. It doesn't introduce a new process into the body, it supports the natural rhythm that already exists. Overnight fasting, hormonal balance, and mitochondrial function are all part of an elegant biological system designed to maintain energy efficiency. The drink works because it amplifies what the body is already trying to do each morning: continue burning fat, preserve muscle, and prepare for the day's energy demands without creating stress or imbalance. Building sustainable morning habits for longevity begins with understanding that what you do in the first hour after waking sets the tone for your body's entire metabolic rhythm. The body thrives on consistency, and every morning presents a chance to reinforce biological patterns that promote fat burning, hormonal balance, and long-term health. When you create routines that align with your natural circadian rhythm, you're not just influencing daily energy levels. You're training your hormones, metabolism, and nervous system to operate in harmony. The key is to replace impulsive habits with intentional ones that support longevity from the inside out. Small, consistent actions done daily have a cumulative effect far greater than any short-term effort or restrictive diet. The morning is a period of transition, when the body shifts from rest and repair to energy production and movement. During this time, cortisol peaks naturally to help you wake up, while insulin remains low due to the overnight fast. This delicate balance offers a unique opportunity to optimize fat burning and mental clarity if managed correctly. The first step in building sustainable habits is to protect this hormonal window, avoiding an immediate rush for sugary foods. Caffeine loaded with additives or processed breakfast items prevents unnecessary insulin spikes and allows fat metabolism to continue. Instead, beginning your morning with hydration, sunlight exposure, and deep breathing maintains balance and supports metabolic flexibility. Over time, this routine signals to your body that mornings are for renewal, not stress. Consistency in wake-up times is another powerful longevity habit. Your body's internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm, regulates hormones like melatonin, cortisol, and growth hormone in a predictable 24-hour cycle. When you wake and sleep at irregular hours, you disrupt this rhythm, confusing your hormonal system and impairing metabolism. By maintaining a steady wake-up schedule, even on weekends, you synchronize your biological processes and strengthen your natural energy patterns. This stability improves sleep quality, digestion, and fat oxidation. The more predictable your routine, the easier it is for your body to maintain efficient metabolic control, leading to less fatigue and better hormonal regulation over the long term. Physical movement in the morning plays a vital role in reinforcing these patterns. Exercise acts as a metabolic reset button, stimulating circulation, improving insulin sensitivity, and activating fat-burning hormones like adrenaline and growth hormone. The key is moderation. You don't need high-intensity workouts first thing in the morning to achieve benefits. Light stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk can activate the sympathetic nervous system gently, preparing the body for the day without overloading it. Fasted movement enhances fat oxidation because the body has limited glucose available and must rely on stored fat for fuel. Over time, this habit trains your metabolism to become more flexible, meaning it can switch efficiently between burning fat and carbohydrates as needed. Mindfulness and stress management are equally important in building sustainable habits. Chronic stress elevates cortisol beyond its natural morning rise, promoting fat storage and reducing insulin sensitivity. Incorporating practices such as meditation, gratitude journaling, or slow breathing helps counter this effect. These activities activate the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering stress hormones and improving digestion and recovery. Just a few minutes of stillness can change your physiological state and set a calm tone for the entire day. People who adopt these habits consistently experience improved mental focus, emotional stability, and metabolic health. The mind and body are not separate systems. They influence each other constantly, and beginning the day with inner calm reinforces metabolic efficiency. Nutrition timing is another cornerstone of sustainable morning routines. Delaying the first meal for 1 or 2 hours after waking allows the body to remain in its natural fasting state a little longer. This practice extends the period of low insulin and high glucagon, encouraging continued fat burning. When you do eat, choosing nutrient-dense foods rich in healthy fats, proteins, and fiber stabilizes blood sugar and reduces cravings later in the day. This approach prevents the common pattern of mid-morning energy crashes that occur after high-carbohydrate breakfasts. Over time, this kind of mindful eating pattern trains the body to become metabolically stable, reducing inflammation and promoting longevity through improved cellular function. Sunlight exposure is another simple yet powerful habit for longevity. Natural light in the morning helps regulate circadian rhythm by suppressing melatonin and supporting serotonin production. This not only improves alertness but also enhances mood and cognitive performance. Light exposure also helps synchronize the release of cortisol and insulin, maintaining balance throughout the day. Spending just 10 minutes in natural light soon after waking can profoundly affect hormonal stability and energy levels. It also supports vitamin D synthesis, which plays a role in immune function and fat metabolism. Sleep quality from the previous night is directly connected to how effective your morning habits will be. Poor sleep raises cortisol, reduces leptin sensitivity, and increases ghrelin, the hunger hormone. This combination leads to cravings and metabolic sluggishness. Sustainable morning habits actually begin the night before by ensuring adequate rest, avoiding late-night eating, and minimizing exposure to artificial blue light. A well-rested body responds better to hydration, fasting, and morning movement, while a sleep-deprived body struggles to regulate insulin and cortisol. Another critical aspect of longevity is maintaining emotional and environmental consistency. The modern lifestyle often creates chaos, constant notifications, late meals, and irregular schedules. Simplifying your mornings into a predictable routine reduces decision fatigue and promotes discipline. Having a specific order, wake, hydrate, move, breathe, and focus, eliminates uncertainty and builds resilience over time. When your morning becomes predictable, your nervous system relaxes, conserving energy for higher priorities throughout the day. Building sustainable habits also means allowing flexibility. Perfection is not required for progress. What matters most is repetition and alignment with your body's natural design. Missing a morning or changing the sequence occasionally won't undo progress. It's the consistency of returning to these habits that produces results. The body loves rhythm, and when your mornings follow a rhythm that supports hydration, hormonal balance, movement, and mindfulness, you create a foundation for long-term health. These small intentional choices compound daily, shaping your metabolism, mental clarity, and overall vitality.